The Transformers franchise was known for regularly introducing new action figures and characters. The Combiners were quite popular, which introduced how more than one robot could combine to form a more oversized Transformer. If any figure could surpass them, they were giant-sized legendary Transformers known as Titans. These Transformers possessed an unspeakable amount of strength and firepower, and their inclusion in battles escalated the warfare to a whole new level. In their alternate mode, these bots could transform into starships, buildings, or even entire cities. Before being known as Titans, these robots were often termed Cityformers, Metro Titans, or Mega Masters. So, without any further delay, let us dive into our video, where we will be exploring the origins of the Titans. Now, before we get into it, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is just a click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you very much. Now let's begin. The history of the Titans. How did they come to exist in the Transformers universe? In the world of Transformers, gigantic bots capable of transforming into cities or huge starships were termed Titans. They were a notch above the Combiners and capable of taking down an entire army of lesser Cybertronians. The Titans were like having a living arsenal of exotic weapons and arcane technology, and the only being capable of bringing down a Titan was another Titan. Both Autobots and Decepticons had their Titans, and when they engaged in battle, it was usually followed by large-scale devastation. Although the Titan was used years later, the concept of gigantic Transformers was used as early as 1986. The first pair of such humongous Transformers were launched with Metroplex of the Autobots and Trypticon of the Decepticons. However, in the next year, Marvel Comics released two Titan-like figures, Fortress Maximus and Scorponok, who were much smaller in size and often comparable to a regular-sized Transformer. In the 2005 IDW continuity, these figures were depicted as slightly bigger than regular Transformers. The video games followed their ways into incorporating the Titans as that of the 2005 IDW continuity, while the Japanese version modified the figures. Metroplex was reanimated into Metro Titan and Fortress Maximus into Brave Maximus. In 2012, the third-person shooter video game titled Transformers Fall of Cybertron showcased Metroplex as an ancient Transformer, and this version was adapted into the IDW continuity and 2012's More Than Meets the Eye, following which the name Titan was introduced for them in Robots in Disguise. After all these years of being addressed by different names, Hasbro settled with the title, and since then they have been known as Titans. In 2014, writer Margaret Scott introduced the idea that Titans could colonize other planets. Introduction to the Titans. The Titans were introduced in 2005's Transformers cartoon, where Metroplex was integrated into the structure of the Autobot city. They were shown in 5 Faces of Darkness Part 1, where the Decepticons created Trypticon to attack the Autobot city. The Autobot city soon transformed into Metroplex, and Wheelie restored him to full functionality in 5 Faces of Darkness Part 5. Trypticon and Metroplex were equal rivals, and their fight was next shown in Thief in the Night, where Trypticon and Octane teamed up to steal various famous Earth landmarks. In the episode titled The Ultimate Weapon, the two fought for the third time. The episode showcased a Decepticon attack in which Blades was injured and taken to Metroplex by First Aid for repairs. Meanwhile, the Decepticon Swindle broke in and managed to steal Metroplex's transformation cog. Soon the Trypticon appeared and destroyed a fleet of naval destroyers. Spike and Daniel, on the other hand, managed to steal Trypticon's transformation cog and install it into Metroplex. Following this, they fought again. Metroplex defeated Trypticon again for the third time. In Transformers Season 4, Episode 3, Fortress Maximus and Scorponok were introduced after the war between Autobots and Decepticons was extended to the planet Nebulos. Unlike Metroplex and Trypticon, the new Titan-like robots were depicted as non-sentient battle stations and mere extensions of their headmasters, Spike Witwicky and Zarak. Scorponok and Fortress Maxima clashed during the final battle of the Great War, which ended in Scorponok getting struck by a bolt of stray plasma energy and being sent hurtling into deep space along with the other Decepticons. In the end, Fortress Maximus was redeployed to Nebulos to keep an eye on the dismantling of the Hive's machineries, following which he soon began serving as the planet's guardian. Meet the Titans. How have these characters influenced the Transformers franchise and beyond? The IDW continuity introduced the Titans as gigantic legendary beings who had once fought alongside Primus against Unicron. They were first introduced in the issue titled Primus, All Good Things. The Titans possessed unimaginable power and were one of the earliest beings on Cybertron. They possessed super sparks and had an inbuilt space bridge which allowed them to travel to intergalactic distances instantaneously. The issues Origin Myths and Salvation later introduced 3 Titans who were considered to be the first of the 3 original ones. The first one was Metroplex, followed by Hela, the Golden Warrior, and Metro Titan. Another Titan mentioned was Trypticon, who according to legends was raised by the deity named Mortalus for the sole purpose of fighting the Primus Titans during the Golden War. The origins of these ancient beings was not well defined, but long back the Knights of Cybertron left the planet to the Titans in hopes of enlightening the universe. Some of the Titans remained on Cybertron in their dormant stage for a long time until the unification of the 13 tribes. Megatronus unleashed the barbaric hordes of Darklanders against Onyx Prime and his forces at Crystal City. As the battle tilted highly against Onyx Prime, he managed to awaken the first 3 Titans underneath the ground. Their arrival gave the warriors enough time to put an end to the fight. Later, all 13 Primes had a Titan ally. The pairs were named Quintus Prime and Quintessa, Alpha Trion and Nemesis, Solus Prime and Caminus, Prima and Emissary, Vector Prime and Tempo, Micronus Prime and Prion, Alchemist Prime and Metrobase, Nexus Prime and Division, Liege Maximo and Vigilum, Amalgus Prime and Navitas, Onyx Prime and Hela, and Megatronus and Metroplex. Later in the issue titled First Contact, Onyx Prime was revealed to be Shockwave in disguise, who wanted to rewrite Cybertronian history in his terms under the Titans. He sent several Titans to colonize new planets, such that there was one for each Prime to rule. One such planet was Antilla, where Omega Supreme and Titan Nemesis subdued the native Antillans by force and colonized their planet. After the end of the First Cybertronian Civil War, which swept their world, the Titans were compelled to turn against Vigilum as his master Liege Maximo was responsible for the war. The Prime and Titan duo were banished into space, and all data about their existence was removed from Cybertron's history. They even renamed Vigilum as Carcer to hide his true identity. As the colonization kept spreading, establishments were made into new worlds, namely Kaminu, Division, and Prion. On these planets, the Titans remained as cities or buildings. Shockwave carried on with his plans. He deliberately orchestrated the events so that each of the 13 Titans and their established colonies would be associated with the 13 worlds that his younger self had once seeded with his 13 Regenesis ores. 3 of the Titans were later shown in the issue titled All Good Things, after Cyclonus was shown to be a part of Nova Prime's inner court. Metro Titan was shown to be hiding dormant underneath Crystal City, which was then guarded by Omega Supreme. After millennia, when the war between Autobots and Decepticons broke out, Nova's respected follower, Day Atlas, became a conscientious objector and gathered like-minded Transformers to become the Circle of Light, and using Metro Titan's energies, he managed to leave the planet. They settled on a planet named Theophany and built a new Crystal City above the sleeping Metro Titan. The second Titan who remained on Cybertron was Metroplex, who had entered a deep slumber as the Acroplex of Nion until the new Prime, Optimus, awakened him, using the Matrix of Leadership for assistance in the fight against Megatron and Zeta Prime. Since then, Metroplex served the Autobots as their headquarters until he left the planet with Alpha Trion to stop Shockwave's star-spanning project. His secret mission was about to be revealed after a group of Decepticons led by Bludgeon arrived on the planet where he was refueling. Luckily, Thundercracker woke Metroplex and teleported him away. The Decepticons then stumbled on the Titan Quintessa, following which Waspinator warped him to Gorlum Prime. The third and last Titan on Cybertron was Trypticon, which was awakened by Scorponok during the initial stages of the Great War. In the Remain in Light story arc, Chief Justice Terrest hired Lockdown to hunt down and kill Titans. He believed that these ancient gigantic robots had the key to reaching the location of the Knights of Cybertron known as Cybertopia. They started by hunting the weakest of the Titans, following which they used the parts to make a space bridge that would take them to their location. In the process, Lockdown and his hunters, while following a Titan signal, arrived at the Lost Light, where they found a piece of Metroplex that had previously struck the ship. They planned on using it to fight Metroplex before being forced off by Trailcutter. Sometime later, Lost Light's crew arrived and entered Metro Titan to find out more about the Circle of Light. The crew's Nemosurgeon, Chrome Dome, discovered that Metro Titan was still alive and in agony. He had heard the call sent out for Cybertron but could not teleport as he lacked the necessary power to transport his huge body across space. Brainstorm then used his miniaturization technology to shrink the giant down to size small enough to travel to Cybertron. The Lost Light then found Terrest's Titan graveyard, where he kept the leftover parts of Titans he had killed, along with Lockdown. Terrest had by then found the necessary parts to make and activate his space bridge to travel to Cybertopia, but unfortunately, the space bridge bridge took him into the mind of Adaptus. Titan Quintessa was next shown in the issue titled Homecoming, where Orion Pax summoned him from the decaying Gorlum Prime to fight off Monstructor. This was a ruse, as the Decepticon scientist wanted the Titan for his space bridge technology. Soon Quintessa was transported back to Cybertron. He was brought to Crystal City, where its Ore 2 reacted with the city's Ore 14 and transformed him into the undead Necro Titan. The Titan slowly became integral to the Transformers comics, making numerous appearances and shaping storylines. Titans return. How did the Titans make a comeback in Transformers media? The Wrath of Trypticon. Following their presence in the comics, the Prime Wars trilogy cartoons introduced the Titans in their second episode, Tired of Our Heroes Respond. According to the cartoons, the Titans were ancient beings who at some point had settled on different worlds, spreading Cybertronian life and seeding them with young Transformer civilizations. They lay dormant in those worlds until their society proved to be self-sustainable, after which they left for another world. Later they appeared during the Great War between Autobots and Decepticons. Following the end of the Combiner Wars in Episode 4, Windblade was shown to be recruiting Metroplex to take down Decepticon Starscream. Starscream's spark was then used to bring Trypticon back to life, who then rampaged through Iacon and slayed Metroplex. Victorian, led by a few Combiners, went in search of Fortress Maximus, who aided the fight against Trypticon until the latter swallowed Victorian and the Enigma of Combination. With the Enigma of Combination, the Combiners soon came under the control of Trypticon, leading the battle in favour of the Decepticons. However, when Trypticon swallowed Perceptor and the Matrix of Leadership, the massive power surge knocked the Titan and eventually killed him, releasing all his hostages. Megatron's attack severely injured Fortress Maximus, but he later managed to survive. He then worked alongside Windblade, who then became the Magistrate of City Speakers. The legendary Fortress Maximus. The Robots in Disguise cartoon introduced the Titans in the 30th episode, aired on the 25th of October 2000. It revolved around Fortress Maximus, believed to be a Cybertronian legend. Eons ago, he chose to remain hidden on Earth to protect the planet's energy from the Predacon leader, Megatron. When the modern-day Autobots found him, they sought to activate him, which was only possible after assembling the O parts, the Orb of Sigma and his headmaster component, Cerebros, all of which were hidden beneath ancient structures. With these, the Titan could be controlled directly by the humans. In episode 37, titled Surprise Attack, a young Autobot named Wedge managed to stimulate the activation of Maximus. War Titans. The Titans also made their appearance in the Cyberverse cartoon. Following on the ideas of the 2005 IDW continuity, the Titans here were also set into colonizing different worlds. The story showcased one such Titan named Croatan, who settled on a red planet near the homeworld of the Sharkticons. After years of prosperity, the planet met its demise after alien beings attacked and left the Titan severely damaged. The members of the Ark found the damaged Croatan while they headed for Cybertron. It was Windblade who rescued him and repaired him back to normal. Following this, the Titan left for his mission of locating other colonists. He took on the escaped Starscream as his passenger and travelled the cosmos until the Quintessons found them. The 44th episode of the cartoon series, titled The Citizen, introduced a special group of the Titans known as the War Titans. These Titans transported warriors to alien planets to wage war against its inhabitants. With the Age of Expansion's conclusion, only one War Titan was left, Iaconus. However, he was unable to adjust to the peace and went mad. He attacked his own kind, following which his crewmates took him down. In the episode titled Dweller in the Depths, another Titan named Dweller was shown. Dweller remained locked in deep stasis and guarded by Hammerbite after being banished to the depths of the Argon Sea. Meanwhile, the Quintessons began their attack on Cybertron with the brainwashed Titan Croatan. They soon invaded Cybertron and Starscream was revealed to be the Quintessons' judge. Windblade managed to evict Iaconus. Starscream managed to kill the last War Titan, Iaconus, while Windblade freed Croatan from the control of the Quintessons. Following the end of the battle, the alternate modes of the two Titans became the capital cities of the Autobots and the Decepticons. Titans possessed unique Titan sparks. The 2019 IDW continuity adapted the ideas of the past versions and showcased the Titan sparks as gigantic robots born out of a Titan spark. In the Transformers issue 29, titled War World Titans, published on the 19th of May 2021, the Titans were introduced as rare beings on Cybertron with immense power. To shape a newborn spark into a Titan, it took a vast amount of time and an enormous amount of energon and raw material to build its body frame. The forging of a Titan followed vast open-air celebrations and the assignment of a mentor to teach and guide the newborn Titan. For Cybertronians, choosing to work with a Titan required a lifelong commitment. The Titans later formed relationships with the City Speakers, who were Transformers who could communicate with and control the Titans. These Transformers were highly skilled beings and had a clear understanding of the Titan's mind and anatomy. Once a Titan died, he merged with Cybertron and and became part of its geography. During their lifespan, they frontlined Cybertron's age of expansion, which included eliminating space threats, escorting large spaceships to new planets, and fighting wars. If they suffered damage, the Titans were repaired in zero-gravity conditions in the spaceborne facilities. At some point, Exarchon attacked Cybertron and the Titans were deployed to take him down. Exarchon was once a Cybertronian leader who later became evil. In the world of the threefold spark, Exarchon took control over the Titan Croaton and made him his pawn. Another Titan, Citadel, fought Croaton and reduced him to a cloud of debris around Cybertron's star. Following this, the Nominus Prime halted all Titans and kept them reserved for further battles. Later, Nominus Prime grew worried about what would happen if another Titan spark was born from the Well of All Sparks. Cybertron and its colonies did not have the fuel and raw materials to make another Titan. They would eventually have to scorch the cosmos for energy, and it could bring them into conflict with other alien species. Nominus stepped down from his role as a Prime and informed his successor, Sentinel, about the shortcomings of having another Titan. Since then, they kept storing the Titan sparks and not building Titans out of them. Cybertron stopped having Titans, and the citizens believed that the Well of All Sparks had stopped producing Titan sparks. With no wars, the rest of the Titans became dormant, only to stop asteroids from hitting the planet. That too ended, and they went completely dormant for at least 10 megacycles. The dormant Titans were linked to the global Titan net, using which technicians and City Speaker could autonomously carry out simple jobs. Later, at some point, a group of protesters known as Rise detonated a data bomb that inhibited the City Speaker and technicians from reactivating the Titans. The group then sneak attacked on the City Speaker Skytalker and made him awaken the Titan Vigilum. They used him to attack Winged Moon and Tether, after which Lodester arrived to defeat the Titan. Vigilum easily incapacitated Lodester and destroyed Tether, following which he escaped into deep space. Marvellous verdict. So, we have finally come to the end of our video, and we hope that you found it entertaining and informative. Feel free to write any suggestions and any points in the comments section below. We look forward to you joining us for our next video. Thank you so much, take care and be safe.